In this episode, we're going to generate sales leads using ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, and Grok, all in record-breaking time. Hi, my name is Christian, and welcome to Generating Job Security by Mastering AI. Before we start, I want everyone to know that all the prompts for this GPT are located in my GitHub account, and you can download it and modify it at will to benefit your career, your interview, and hopefully your job security. After all, this is why I created this channel, to help you obtain job security by mastering AI. I know this sounds repetitive, but it's really what's at heart in this channel. I want you to be ready for what's coming ahead for all of us. This is episode 103. First, I'm going to show you what it does. In the second video, I will show you the free tools you need to build it. And in the last video, I will show you how to build a GPT and all the issues associated with creating a large GPT like this. It's a good exercise to remind ourselves why we are using AI. So from now on, and in most videos, I will display this table before and after so we can analyze if we fulfilled the reason for creating this solution. So what is the agenda for episode 1 in this mini-series? Well, in the first part, we're going to do a walk through the GPT in slow motion. Then we're going to repeat the process in record-breaking time. Then we're going to do a brief look under the hood. We're going to answer some brief questions and answers, and then my final thoughts. So here's the GPT. I called it Bakery Sales Leads, and it's available in the store. This is a paid account. You cannot access this without a paid account. So let's start the process. I want to type Start Shark. And this GPT is fully working in English and Spanish. So we're going to only do the English this time. And I am going to select English. So, great. Now it's going to ask me, what city do I want to go to? And I want to say Miami. And the next step, it's going to generate all the prompts for Gemini, Copilot, and Grok. Okay, so I'm going to copy the prompt for Gemini, and I'm going to open Gemini in a new tab. I'm going to paste the prompt, which already has the city, right? So let's hit go. I'm going to go back to ChatGPT, and now I'm going to copy the prompt for Copilot. Same deal. And it's going to generate the leads for Miami. There you go. And finally, I'm going to go to Grok. Same deal. I'm going to copy the prompt for Grok. I am going to paste that in here. And Grok is going to generate the leads. Unlike Gemini and Bing, Grok is looking at a bunch of social media websites like Yelp and others in order to generate these leads, because Grok doesn't have a search engine like Microsoft and Google. Okay, so far so good. So all the leads have been generated, and the next step, and this is something that you're going to see throughout the AIs, is that sometimes the results, they don't come. So if I were to go back to Gemini and copy again this code, you will see that the results for both requests are absolutely identical. And you will see that the results are going to come out in different fashion, you see? So it's the same request, but the results came back in a different form. And this is going to happen throughout most of the AIs. Regardless of what you ask, you will see the results coming in different forms. But for the most part, I would say 90 85 to 90% is going to come in this fashion, which is exactly what we want. Okay, so the next step, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to save it to my download folder using Notepad. So here's Notepad, and I'm going to save it as Gemini Miami leads raw. Okay, these are raw leads. Okay, I'm going to open a new tab, and this time I'm going to go to Copilot. I'm going to copy the leads generated by Copilot, and I'm going to paste them in here, and I'm going to say Copilot Miami leads raw. Okay, I'm going to open a new tab. This is Windows 11, by the way, so that's why it looks this way. I'm going to copy this. And then I'm going to go to my Notepad, and I'm going to save this. Why? This should not be there, but it is. I'm going to save it as Grok Miami leads raw. Okay? So if I go to my download folder, you will see that I have all 3 files. So what is the next step? So this is step 3, which we just executed, which is obtaining the leads from the different AIs that are available. And so the next step is we're going to merge all 3 files, and we're going to do that in Gemini. And so the prompt for that merge is in here, and the instructions are very simple. We're going to remove all duplicates using the company name, the phone, the address, the website. We're going to try to normalize the addresses using USPS standards, validate the phone, the email formatting, and then we're going to segment the leads, and we're going to try to get the owner's name, the buyer procurement, and then we're going to create a unique lead ID. And although this is here, you will see that the behavior in which Gemini is operating right now, sometimes it generates the CSV file for you to download, and that is less than 10% of the time. But I did a dual prompt command, which I said, well, create the file, but also output the content into the table, into the screen. So let's copy this. So we copy the prompt for Gemini, right? We're going to go back to Gemini, and now we're going to upload the 3 files that we just downloaded. And we're going to paste the prompt that does the merge. And there it is. Here are the merge leads. These include Copilot, Gemini, and Grok. Okay? So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to open Google Sheets. And so this is something that you're going to see in the future. This is very important. So all the AIs, so I'm going to show you. So the AIs right now are ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Grok. The local AIs that I have installed, which include DeepSeek and also Llama. And then we have Copilot. And I didn't add DeepSeek as the 6th one, but I should do it. So there's the DeepSeek Cloud. So let's go here and let's go for DeepSeek. And we're going to see DeepSeek Cloud. Now, I always warn people, this website is located in China. So if you want to use this, make sure that you don't upload sensitive information. Okay? So there's this full stack of AIs that are considered commercial grade use. I know the Chinese are developing new ones, but I would stick with these 6 or 8, depending if you consider local AIs. Those are installed on my laptop. And I have an episode that shows you how to install AI on your laptop. So we're going to go back. And so we have the merge leads. They're right here. And we're going to copy that into my clipboard. We're going to go to Google Sheets. And I'm going to open a brand new spreadsheet. I'm going to paste it in column A, cell A. So there's all my merge leads. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to separate. So right now everything is in one large row. And so you're going to go into Google Sheets and I'm going to split the text to columns, and there you go. So now everything is in its own column. That's the way it should be because it was comma separated. It was one of the instructions we gave to the AI. And I'm going to call this Miami merged leads. Okay. Now I'm going to download this. I'm going to go here and I'm going to hit download, and I'm going to download as a CSV again. Okay. And so if we go to my download folder, I see download. For some reason, although the name says Miami Merge Leads, Google Sheets puts the word /sheet1, and it does it with everything. So I'm going to delete that. We don't need it. Okay. So what is the next step? So we go back to ChatGPT. We have fulfilled step 4. And now we have two options. Okay. The first option is to export the leads to a dialer using Gemini. Now, I don't have a particular dialer that I use personally, but I try to get the formats for two very popular dialers, Ringover and Ready Mode. And so if we use, let's say option 1, Ringover, what basically is going to happen is going to give me the prompt for Gemini to export that in the Ringover dialer. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go back to Gemini, and I'm going to say, well, grab these merge leads and give them to me in the dialer export format. Okay, so now all the leads are being exported in that dialer. And so I can copy this and I can go again to Google Sheets, create a new spreadsheet. So I don't know if you realize what we're doing, but we're leveraging the cloud tools that Google has to offer, which are fully integrated and are going to be fully integrated with the AIs. And so if we go back here and we go back to this AI ecosystem. So I don't know what ChatGPT is going to do, and I don't know what Claude's going to do. But when you use Gemini, Gemini is going to be fully integrated with all the tools that Google has to offer. And Copilot is going to be fully integrated with all the tools that Microsoft has to offer, which includes Bing, Microsoft Office, coding, etc. So think about the future. The future is going to be like that. So let's go back to the sheets. And so here, I'm going to do the same exercise. I'm going to go to data. I'm going to split text. There it is. Now it's comma related. And I'm going to say Miami Ringover. Miami Ringover leads. Okay, and I can once more download that to my download folder, and now from here I can actually go to my dialer and I'm ready to dial these leads. And if we go back to ChatGPT, you will see that insert it, upload the claims into Gemini with this prompt, and you're done. So we're done, right? But we're not done because I programmed. So for this demonstration, we're not done. But if you were using this in real life and you had a Ringover dialer, you are done. This is the end of the process for you. So I created instructions for it to go back. So it's a guided process. So we're back to step 4. And by the way, I also create instructions for help. So if I type help, okay, let it come back, still generating some of the, yeah, there we go. So I'm going to type help, and then it gives you basically all the help you need. It tells you where you are. It tells you everything. I even created a diagram, and the value of the diagram is extremely high. And I tell you why. In the future, in a year from now, and 2 years from now, you're going to have 20, 30, 40, 50 GPTs. And you're not going to remember what each GPT does. So again, I created this diagram, and this diagram will help me understand what this GPT does. And I added this diagram to the help instructions. And then I'm going to show you the other parts that I'm going to do. But for this time, I'm not going to go into the video yet because I want you to see what's going to happen. So I'm going to say this time I want to create a dry foot route for the same leads. Okay, so I'm going to choose option 2. So now it's telling me you have to get the merged file into geocode.io. Okay, so geocode.io is a separate website. This is not AI. It allows, I believe, 2,500 free lookups a day. And I'm going to show you why we need this website. Okay, so basically, if you click on the help video, okay, it's going to basically show you what to do.
We're going to now talk about creating geocode, latitude, and longitude for an Excel spreadsheet.
Okay, so we're not going to go and watch the whole video, but what we're going to do is we're going to do it right now. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. Okay, and no, I'm not going to copy this yet. I'm going to follow these instructions. So I'm going to go into Geocode AI, and I'm going to click on Geocode a spreadsheet, and I'm going to upload the Miami merge leads. Okay, there we go. Now it's going to auto detect the street because the street column was called street, the city because it was city, and it's going to give me an example of how those addresses look like. Okay, so far so good. The addresses look really well. So I'm going to click next or preview. And this works very well if all the leads are in the same location. So if you have multi-city leads, then you're probably going to see different dots in the map. And I'm going to say, yes, everything looks good. Okay, and this is the important part. I'm going to say US zip +4. This is the one you want to choose. Hit continue. And then we're going to click start. Okay. And what's going to happen is Geocode.io is going to grab all those addresses and add 2 important pieces of information. It's going to add longitude and latitude. So we're going to download that file. So here's my Miami merge leads with geocode. So if I open this in Excel, okay, so here's the Excel file. You will see that I still have all my original columns and all my original leads. Okay. Let me make this bigger so you can see it. So I have all my original columns and all my original leads, but then Geocode.io added 2 very important pieces of information: the latitude and the longitude. Okay. And we're going to use that in conjunction with Gemini to create driving routes for the leads. Okay, so I'm not going to save this. The file is there. We're done with Geocode.io. We're going to go back to ChatGPT, and we're going to copy the final route optimization prompt. we're gonna copy this. We're gonna go to Gemini. It's very important that you understand that Gemini is kind of flaky in some things. So the reason why I created these links is because it opens a new chat window in Gemini. You don't want to do everything in the same chat window. It gets kind of funny. So this opened a new chat window, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna upload that geocode.io file, which has the longitude and latitude, and I'm gonna paste the prompt that I just copied. Okay, and if we look at the prompt, it basically says you're an AI route optimizer and Google Map Assistant. And then I'm uploading all the stuff. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna create an output that has the stop number, the distance, the estimated drive time, and also the link. Okay, so I'm gonna click on that. And then what Gemini is gonna do is gonna organize all the leads. So you drive the shortest amount of distance between one bakery and the next one. And that's very important. And not only that, it's going to tell you everything you need to know about your route. Okay. I also instructed the prompt for Gemini to tell me what to do next. And that's really useful. So I'm going to show you now. So I'm going to grab this. Okay. It's copied in my, so it says use Notepad. So I'm going to go back to Notepad, okay? And I'm going to paste this. And I'm going to save it as Miami leads driving route, okay? So I'm going to go back here, and it's telling me, okay, you're going to have to create a new column in Excel with this value. So I'm going to go to Excel now. Okay. Now it's very important that you see the columns are using a pipe separator. And the reason why we did that is because unfortunately, Google Maps uses a comma to separate the longitude and the latitude. So when, and I'm going to show you now, if I open that file, okay, if I open that file, I cannot use a comma. If I go and I use a comma, what happens? It's going to separate the Google Maps link. So what I have to do is and this took a long time to figure out, I have to use a pipe. When we use pipes, then what happens is that the link stays intact. Okay, so I click next, and you will see here that the link is all in one column. So I click finish, and here it is. Here are my leads, and as you see, the Google Maps is intact in one column. That's very, very important. Okay, for this to work correctly. So I'm going to paste that value that I got from Gemini. And what happens is that it creates a clickable link that you're going to use now in your phone. Okay, so here it is. And what I'm going to do is I am going to show you how it works. So this is how it's going to look in your phone. So this is your first bakery, and it's located. So if I go in here, that's it. That's the bakery. Okay. So I'm going to grab that address. Of course, you don't have to do this. If this is in your phone, what you're going to tell when you click on the AI is when you're going to tell Google Maps when you click on it is that you're going to use your current location. So let's go to the second bakery. Here's the second bakery. Okay. Now, let's say you were in the first bakery. So what you're going to do is you're going to enter the address. I'm doing this because I'm not there right now. Okay. So what's going to happen is going to give me the route from the first bakery to the second bakery. And it says 3 minutes, right? 3 minutes. So let's go back to that Excel. And it says that my distance is 1.36 miles. Of course, that's driving minutes, 5 minutes, which makes sense. So the Excel Gemini created all the routes in order, so I can go from stop 1 to stop 2 to 3 to 4. And each stop has in between the shortest distance. Of course, there's some bakeries that are going to be really far away. For example, between bakery 10 and 11, there's 6 miles. But then bakery 12 is only 1 mile away from bakery 11. And then you're going to jump to 13. And that makes sense, right? You also have the email for most, I would say 50% of the bakeries. You have their phone number, etc. Okay, and this is what you upload to your phone, and you're ready to go. And so this concludes our walkthrough for the lead generator.
Okay, so we're going to download the leads and record breaking time. So for that, we're going to use the Google timer. So let's start the timer. There we go. And let's start the process. Okay, we're going to select one for English. And now we're going to select Orlando, Florida. So let's see how fast we can get this done. Okay, there's my first prompt. I'm going to copy it, go to Gemini, paste it. Now I'm going to go to Copilot, paste it, and I'm going to go to Grok and paste it. Okay, so Gemini is back. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to go to Notepad, paste it. I'm going to put this as Orlando. Go here. I'm going to put this as Copilot. Orlando. Get a new one. Go to Grok. Copy it. Paste it. I'm going to call this Grok Orlando. Okay, so I made a mistake here. This should be Gemini Orlando. Okay, so we have all three. So the next step is to merge them. So here's the merge. I'm going to go back to Gemini. I'm going to add all three files. Okay. Now we're going to merge. Great. And we're going to copy this. We're going to make a backup. I mean, these are merge leads, but that's not the purpose of doing this. The purpose is to end up in the dialer, but we're going to make a backup just in case. So split text to columns. So everything's split it. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to call this Orlando United. This is an additional step. Okay, and I'm going to download it just to have a backup. That's no other reason than that. So let's go and see what we want to do. So most of you are going to import these leads into a dialer. I'm going to select ring over. Okay. Go back to Gemini. Let's export them for ring over. There we go. Copy this. Open Google Sheets one more. Paste it. Split it. Name it as Orlando Ringover. Download it. So we're done. It took 3 minutes and 51 seconds. If you think about it, just to collect the leads from all these different websites. So if I go to, for example, Grok is telling you that it searched 189 sources. Okay? It searched all of these different places in order to get these leads. And just for a human being to collect all this information and then merge it. Merging is not that difficult. You could probably do it in Excel. And then exporting to Ringover. You can also do it manually. So all of this work can be done manually, but there's no way a human can accomplish this in 3 minutes and 51 seconds. Okay, so now we're going to look under the hood, and we only need three things for this. So as I said, this is video 1 of this mini series, and video 2 we're going to show you all the tools you need to install. And then on video 3 or episode 3, we're going to show you a deep dive on how we built this GPT. Okay? So basically, this is ChatGPT. This is a GPT, and in this GPT, I can edit the GPT, and you will see that the GPT has several components. So you have your main prompt, and this prompt could be considered a system prompt, if you want to call it that, but it's really a custom GPT prompt. And then you have all these supporting files. Okay. Now, those supporting files are also in my GitHub account that you can download. And so the main prompt is this one right here. And this one has all the instructions that are located up here. So that one is this, right? And then if I go back, you will see that there's the step 5, step 4, step 3, and then there's a JSON file. A JSON file contains basically the formats for example, the Ringover dialer. It also contains some of the other formats for the export, the Google Maps link, the walking order, etc. And so all that information is located in that JSON file. And that JSON file and the step 3, step 4 are right here. Now, why are we using this? And I'm going to go in detail in the 3rd episode of this mini-series. But basically, we cannot fit it in here because this conversation or this custom prompt has a limit of 8,000 characters. So if your custom GPT requires more than 8,000 characters, you're going to have to start placing some of those instructions in here. Okay, so a lot of the instructions in here are the prompts that you saw for Gemini, for Grok. So for example, this is, you see, here's the Grok, the Gemini, and the Copilot prompts. And the links are in here as well. So all of that information is in here. And now it looks kind of big because remember, we actually created this for English, and we also did it for Spanish. So it's in both languages. It's bilingual already. So if you want to create a custom GPT that is in 2 languages, you already kind of have the template in order to accomplish that. And you know, all of this prompts, I use a tool called Visual Code, which I'm loading right now.
And if I open one of these prompts, these are much easier to read in here than actually using the tools that are provided to you by ChatGPT. So I usually work in Visual Code, which is absolutely free, and you can download it from Microsoft. And this is much easier to work in here. There's separators for every step. The help guide is at the bottom. Here's your help. The help is in English, and the help is in Spanish as well. Some basic instructions to go back, and that's it. That's how this was built. And remember, in episode 3, we're gonna go deep inside on how we built this and all the nuances and issues, and also best practices on how to build a custom GPT. Okay, so we have reached the questions and answers section of this episode. And I guess the first question is, can GPT really create dynamic prompts for Grok, Gemini, and Copilot? And the answer is yes, but they didn't work as well. So what we ended up doing was going into Gemini and tweaking the prompts for Gemini inside Gemini. And I think most AIs, if you ask them to create a prompt for another AI, they will actually give you what you're asking for. But once you start executing those prompts inside the target AI, you will see that you will get better results if you ask the AI, how can I improve this prompt? So when I was creating these, and this is going to be part of episode 3 of this mini-series, you'll see how you can tweak your prompts by asking the AI to actually tweak them for you. So the next question is, can I run the lead extractor without an AI subscription? And the answer is absolutely yes. The files are sitting in here, and you can go to a free account for ChatGPT and execute the steps manually, and it will give you the prompts one by one. So here's one of the prompts, right? So upload the files to ChatGPT manual. This is the merge. You can run this merge in Gemini for 3 files. You can grab it here, and you can do it without a paid subscription. The export as well. You can run the exports for Ring Central. The only thing is that when you run this prompt, you're going to have to go into the JSON file, and you're going to have to also, in the same prompt, tell Gemini what fields are part of the dialer export, right? So yeah, it can be run manually. You can save money. I think a ChatGPT subscription right now is $23 a month. So it can be done. It's not, you don't need a subscription, okay? Okay, can I use the AIs to extract thousands of leads? And the answer is no. And the reason why is because, so if I go to Grok, for example, and I say, well, give me all the bakeries in the US, what happens is that, so first of all, it's going to take a lot longer to answer. And then what you're going to see is that once the answers get really, really big, so these are chatbots, okay? These are chatbots, and it's like a web page, right? And so what happens is that once the list gets too long, it's going to start throttling you. It's going to say, well, I can give you 20, maybe 100 answers in one single text box. So this user interface is not designed for extremely large data sets. Let's put it that way. Okay, so that's one of the problems. Now, can you do it through APIs? Yes, You can do it through APIs. But that's going to require an engineer. Okay, so the next question is, why does Gemini and Copilot provide less leads than Grok? Well, Grok uses a bunch of websites to gather leads. So I think it was 183 the last time we saw it. And both Gemini and Copilot are using, well, Gemini is using Google and Copilot is using Bing. And so that's why it provides less leads, but there's room for improvement. So you can tweak those prompts to see if you can achieve similar results to Grok. Okay, so let's go to the next question. So why did we use Geocode.io? So so I played with this for about a week. Basically, we saw that the performance of ChatGPT is able to do what Geocode.io and Gemini do both in one place. And it took a long time. It took ChatGPT to geocode the leads and then provide the driving route about 7 minutes for about 30 leads. And that type of performance is unacceptable. As you can see, I can do the whole process in minutes. So we decided, or I decided to go out of AI, do the geocoding, and then import it into Gemini, which is already integrated with Google Maps. So, and I want to make a point about this. So in the future, that's what's going to distinguish you between being a really efficient AI expert and someone who uses AI for everything and doesn't care about the performance. You're going to see a lot of companies with some really, really slow AI workflows. Okay, so the next thing is, how technical do I need to be to create a JSON file? Well, so in the old days, you had to be an engineer to understand a JSON file. But today you can just grab the JSON file, go to any of the AIs, and modify it. You tell them, listen, I have this JSON file. I need to add one more field. And the AI will put the field in the JSON for you. Or you can say, hey, I want to create a new report. I'm not using this dialer anymore. I'm using a new dialer. I'm using Oracle Coal Miner. Or I need a JSON for Coal Miner, which mines coals and extracts the text. And these are all the fields that I need, and the AI will create that JSON file for you. So you don't have to be extremely technical. Okay, so the next question is, can the whole process be fully automated? And the answer is yes, but it defeats what AI was invented for. So if you go around the internet and you go into the news, this AI push is all about saving money. It's all about reducing cost. And so what happens is that these companies starting to realize that the AI technology is just not there yet. Okay, and it will probably never be there. Okay, it will probably never be there because Google is not going to give Copilot its Google Maps technology. Google is not going to give Copilot its Google Sheets technology. And so forth. Grok is starting to be really good with social media, right? Because it doesn't have a search engine. So they're focusing on social media. And so these competing companies are going to start fighting each other. Okay? One is going to provide more features on this side, another company is going to provide more features on the other side. So what's going to happen in the long run is that you're going to see that if you have a company that's going to extract leads from, and this is a perfect example. This whole episode is a perfect example. Extracts leads from social media and then wants to create a driving route. You're going to have to go to two AIs. And so you can automate that. You can hire engineers to automate that. But that's the whole point. The whole point about creating these AIs is so a regular office worker can do this without the help of an engineer. Engineers cost money. They will take time. They'll take 3-4 months to do it. And so can the whole process be automated? The answer is absolutely yes. And that's where you can take advantage of this whole thing and that's the next question. Can a regular office worker create a custom GPT? And the answer is absolutely. I mean, if you're not a programmer, you can take, for example, this template or other templates and modify them to fit what you need to do at work. And if you see that something is extremely complicated, you go to your boss and you say, hey, I think we're going to have to hire an engineer for a few days, maybe a week, maybe a month at most, just to create this very difficult part that I can't figure out. And that's where the value of you comes in. That's where you are the person who's going to keep your job because you understand what can be automated. You understand how these AIs are competing against each other. You understand how these AIs offer features that others don't. And that's where the value is. So I went to all of the AIs and I asked a very simple question. Since everything cannot be automated using AI, how would you describe the opportunity for humans to play a role in the future? And basically, all the AIs had the same answer, more or less, with a few variations. And basically, if AI keeps getting better, what's left for humans? And so AI is going to fulfill all the repetitive tasks. Like, for example, in this particular example, gathering leads, which would have taken hours for a human to do. And so where's your value? Your value is actually putting this together, going to the different competing AIs, understanding what can be automated and what should not be automated due to costs. Okay, expanding the purpose of this GPT that I created, making it better, creating reports, right? So you still have to think what the report's going to say, but then when the report has to run, you can use AI to run that report. All of those things has to remain in the human side. All the repetitive tasks, everything that is cumbersome, everything that is slow or requires a lot of manual work, all that can be moved to the AI. And that's exactly what you need to do, but also you need to start thinking about. So a lot of people are worried about their careers right now, and that is a valid concern. But what you really need to do is you need to realize what can be automated, realize how you as a person understand the AIs and able to get the most out of them, and then design the workflows that are going to take advantage of these different AIs in order to make an impact in your future, in your career, in your company, in your interview. I think one of the best things you can do in an interview is pop up your laptop, show them your GPT. Hopefully you customize that GPT for that interview, for that company, and say, look, this is what I can do for your company. I know AI. I've been training on AI. I know that I can make a difference here. And that's how you take advantage of this. As promised, we're going back to that table that had the reasons why we should use AI. And I think we have easily fulfilled at least 5 different categories. The number one is speed. There's no way a human can actually gather these leads, merge them, and have the leads ready for the dialer in 3 minutes. That's humanly impossible. It's also very accurate since you have removed any manual steps. It's very hard to make a mistake. Automation, well, there's some automation. It's not fully automated, so I say we fulfilled part of that. There's no doubt that productivity has been met, and the initial investment is high. It could take you, if you're not a developer, if you're not an engineer, it could take you 2-3 weeks to modify this GPT. But once you have it ready, you are going to recover all your time and much more. And that means the cost savings are there right away. I can see this if you're an insurance agent, if you sell those credit card machines, anything that requires you to visit people. I think you will get your money's worth if you customize this GPT for your needs. Please stay tuned for episode 2 in this mini-series, and don't forget, you can always find me in LinkedIn. Thank you for watching.